Hey y'all, welcome back to Social with Shawna, where I share with you everything I've learned about growing and making money on social media. If you are a social media influencer and trying to grow, especially on YouTube or Instagram, make sure you hit that red subscribe button and turn on your bell notifications because you're not going to want to miss any of my uploads. Today, we are talking all about Instagram and growing quickly on Instagram. I'm going to be sharing with you all my tips and tricks that I have learned so far to help me grow. Before we get started, make sure you are following me over on Instagram at ShawnaRaeVideos. I do post on there daily and you're not going to want to miss it. So first, let's just talk about posting in general. So I try to post to my Instagram feed about 5 times a week. And this has been what is working for me, but you should definitely just find a schedule that works for you. But the more times you are posting, the more often you have an opportunity for someone new to find you. So do keep that in mind. So when I am posting, I try to do a few different things. Of course, I try to have a high quality photo. You can use a preset if you want. A lot of people love presets and swear by them. I do have one, but it's usually just one that makes my pictures brighter. I don't have one that makes my pictures all the same color scheme like some people do. But find what works for you and do that. And you want a high quality photo to post onto your feed. You don't want it to be blurry or fuzzy or anything like that. Next, you need to figure out or come up with a meaningful caption, something that's going to draw people in and make people get all the feels. I do also usually, or at least quite often, try to ask a question in my caption, something that engages people and gets them to respond and comment on my post. So when we're talking about hashtags on your posts, a couple things to note. There is a 30 hashtag limit on posts. I do try to limit mine to around 25. Sometimes it's less than that, sometimes it's 15-ish. You of course can't go over 30, but I try not to go over about 25-ish, just to have some wiggle room, just to be safe. And then my big tip with using hashtag is to use small hashtags. So people get caught up in using the big hashtags like love or I can't even think of any of the other big ones right now because I don't use any of the big ones anymore. There are a lot of big ones that a lot of people tend to get caught up in using. The problem with using big hashtags as a small influencer is you're never gonna show up in Explore. You're just not. There's hundreds of people posting on those big hashtags every minute, and yours is never going to show up in the Explore as a small influencer. So you want to find small hashtags that you can show up in Explore for. So I try to limit my hashtags to having about under 500,000 posts in it, and I try to have at least a few of them that are under 50,000 posts in that hashtag group. I usually have a few of them that have around 1,000. And this has helped me grow significantly, especially with my cleaning videos. I've been able to find quite a few really good hashtags that I almost always show up on Explore for, and it's helped my channel, my page grow quite significantly. So do some exploring with your hashtags and make sure you are sticking to smaller hashtags so that you are more likely to show up in Explore. In addition to that, with your hashtags, you do not want to use the same hashtags every time you post. Instagram will mark you as spam if you're using these same hashtags, and you will stop showing up for those hashtags at all. So some tips that I've heard from some other Instagrammers are to basically have a few different lists of caption or hashtags that you like to use and kind of rotate through them. So have 5 or 6 different lists and rotate through them so you're not always using the same hashtags. And then of course make your hashtags relevant to your photo. For example, a photo I posted yesterday it's a video of my child swimming, so I posted some hashtags about swimming, toddlers swimming, things like that. But you want to make sure you're using hashtags that are relevant to the photo, as well as not using the same hashtags every single time. And then my last tip for when you are posting is to share your post to your stories. This helps drive more engagement to your post. Now, when you're sharing your post to your stories, it is important you can also add hashtags onto your stories, which will help you become more likely to be found. I do like to use larger hashtags on my stories because less people are posting to each hashtag's stories than they are in the feed. And so you're more likely to show up on the stories than you are in the main feed, if that makes sense. If you have more questions about that, let me know in the description box in the comments down below. Now, when you are posting, it is important that you try to get as much engagement drawn to your photo within the first hour on Instagram. For YouTube, it's usually the first 24 hours that you really need to get engagement for so that they'll promote you. With Instagram, it's the first hour. Within that first hour, you need as much engagement as possible. That's why it's important to post to your stories and just try to drive traffic to that post. so that you will up its engagement, and then Instagram is more likely to promote it for you. In addition, when people are commenting on your photo, is it extremely important to make sure you are commenting back. That helps drive engagement as well. Also, when you are commenting back, your comments need to be at least 4 words, not including emojis. This shows Instagrams that you are having meaningful conversations with your followers, and they are more likely to drive traffic to your channel. Just posting an emoji or just posting thanks, while it's good to reply to your followers, it does not show Instagram that there is good, meaningful conversation going on there, and so they will not promote it. They want good, meaningful conversations happening. Now, my next tip for Instagram outside of posting is to post, well, I guess it kind of has to do with posting. It's to post to your stories daily. I have seen a huge increase in my traffic to my Instagram page just by utilizing the Instagram stories. A lot of people don't utilize Instagram stories. I know I didn't, because sometimes it feels weird to just talk to people on your stories all the time. But I saw a significant increase in my stories, or in my feed and my follower count, when I started utilizing my stories. So just talk to people. Just get on there, talk to them, ask them about how their day is. Engage with your followers through your stories. It is extremely important to utilize your Instagram stories in order to drive traffic to your page. Now, when you're posting to your stories, I do have a few tips for that as well. You want to make sure you're using text. So even if you're talking to people in your stories, you want to utilize and put text of whatever, kind of a recap of what you're saying. It has been shown that 85% of Instagram users watch stories in silent. They don't have the sound on. So you want to make sure you're putting that text on there so people know. If you don't have text, they're just going to skip right through it. They're not going to actually watch. You want to have text there because they don't have the sound on. And in addition, another way to boost engagement on your Instagram page is to put polls and just those engagement type things on your stories. So you can put a poll, you can put a little thing that slides, you can put the question box, just anything, any of those engaging tools for the stories. Use those to make engagement on your Instagram page go up. Another tip to growing your Instagram is to be active within your niche. So figure out what your niche is and be active on others within it. Not only commenting to them in whatever their caption was on their photo, but also comment to other people who are commenting on their photos. Those people are obviously engaged followers, and you would like them to come over to your page as well. If they're asking a question and the person whose picture it is hasn't answered yet, and you have an answer, answer it. Or if you have something meaningful to say, give them meaningful comments on their comments on other people's photos. Definitely don't spam them, don't annoy people, but it doesn't hurt to be active in your niche and comment on people's comments. And then my last tip to growing your Instagram is to pay attention to your analytics. Analytics can be your best friend. With this, if you do not have your Instagram set up as a business account, you should do that, because then you can get all the analytics and you can find out exactly which posts are doing better, which ones get more views, which ones get more engagement, which ones get more profile visits or website links. You can see all of this in your analytics, and it will help you to figure out what you should post in the future. For example, when I look at my analytics, it is obvious to me that my little short cleaning videos or little snippets of my cleaning videos do way better on my Instagram than anything else. And so I am more likely in the future to continue posting those. They get me more followers, more profile visits, and more website clicks than any other type of post I do. So you can bet I will continue doing those. If you guys like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. If you have a friend who you think could benefit from this information, make sure you share it. And if you are new here and haven't already subscribed, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and hit that red subscribe button. Turn on your bell notifications because you're not going to want to miss any more of my uploads. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye y'all.